Hey, I'm Dr. Dave. This is Microdose U. Welcome. I am so glad you're here today because I've got a really special episode for you. I've got a bunch of questions that have come in between last episode and this episode, which I'm going to try to answer as many as possible. There's some really good ones, and I'm pretty sure some of them will be applicable to you for sure. Before I do that, I want to share with you I guess I'm going to say five things, five products that if you're looking to do something in your life to make some type of a change, five things that I think are going to really change your life. Three of them are actual supplements that I think, well, again, this is not medical advice in any way, but they've helped me so much and there's so many benefits to these that it's hard for me to believe they would not benefit you in some ways. And then two things that are more like lifestyle things that I really recommend. So let's get right into them. I'll share the five things with you right away. I'll do it really quickly. And then if you want, I will post links to the exact ones that I use in my life. So you in the show notes, I'll put them up there. So if you want, again, no pressure, no obligation anyway. But if you want, you can get exactly the ones I use, so there won't be any confusion. You'll know exactly you're getting the right ones. So here we go. Five products that I feel that you basically can't do without in your life, or you shouldn't do without in your life. Let's go. Number one, lion's mane capsules. Lion's mane is a totally legal mushroom, extremely healthy. It supports cognitive health. Now, I've been using lion's mane for at least 4 years now, and I feel as I just turned 70, I feel that my brain is every bit as good, if not better, than it's really been in my youth. I'm testing it. I'm doing so many things with my brain these days. First of all, I've got this podcast that I'm writing and producing and broadcasting every week. And if you think that doesn't take any kind of brain function, oh my God, it really does. I've got so many things going, and probably one of the most the thing that I'm testing the most with my brain these days is I am learning Japanese. And although, I've been with my wife for over 20 years now, she's from Japan. And of course, for over many years, I've known just many simple expressions and words and things like that, but I never really went into it too deeply. I've never been fluent. I've never been able to have a true conversation in Japanese. But for the past year and a half, I'm getting very, very serious and getting into this. And I take at least 3 Japanese lessons per week via video from my teacher in Osaka, Japan. And I will tell you, I really do believe that these lion's mane capsules supporting my cognitive health have helped me get through this, because Japanese is not an easy language to learn. They've got 3 different character set alphabets that are nothing like English at all, nothing like the letters that we're accustomed to. You got to learn all these brand new things. Sentence structure is completely opposite of what English is like. So and for somebody at my age to be able to start this and be, have reasonable success over time, I attribute at least some of that to lion's mane capsules, just helping my brain stay healthy and maybe even get healthier. So again, I've been using these every day for at least 4 years now. I can tell a difference. I can just tell I'm not losing any memory skills or anything like that. So again, I'll post that in the show notes if you're interested. The second thing is something called MSM capsules. It's an abbreviation for a longer chemical name. These are supplemental capsules also, and they're very, very good. I've been probably using these for probably about a year now. And I did a podcast episode quite some time ago, and I said, again, this is not medical advice, and I'm not an expert at this. It's just my opinion and from my experience. But I said, if there's one supplement, if you're looking for one supplement to take to really help your health, even just a little bit, I probably recommend MSM capsules. They support joint health and flexibility. They're anti-inflammatory, promotes healthy skin, hair, nails, assist in recovery after exercise. I've noticed, again, if you're watching this on video, my hair Although it's, of course, at my age, it's definitely thinned out for sure. It's not as thick as it was when I was 20 or 25 or even 30. However, I've noticed that since I've been using these MSM capsules, it's not getting worse, and if anything, it might be getting a little bit thicker. I'm not sure, but I think it's helping in along those lines in many different ways. MSM capsules. You don't need to know the whole what it actually stands for, but if you're curious, it stands for methyl sulfonyl methane capsules. And again, that's not going to get you anywhere in life just memorizing that. Just call it MSM. That's totally fine. The third thing I recommend, and also I've been using this for quite some time, especially since I've had some knee problems and some pain, is turmeric capsules. Turmeric capsules. And turmeric is a very potent anti-inflammatory. Supports joint comfort and mobility, acts as a powerful antioxidant, and it may also support healthy digestion. I think it does actually. So again, that's just something in my toolbox, in my armamentarium that I've been using. I do take a lot of different supplements, but if I had to recommend, if somebody said, what are the three that you really would recommend? These are three really good ones. Again, I know everybody's health and everybody's bodies are different and we need different things. So I can't say generically that these are absolutely the best for you, but for me they are, and I think there's a really good chance because of the properties I just listed. I just listed, I think there's going to be a really good chance they're going to be very good for you. Now, number 4 is not a supplement. It's nothing that you ingest. Number 4 is actually, and if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm going to show it to you right now. It is a fountain pen, and it goes along with number 5, and I'll show you number 5 in a second. Number 5 is a special journal that I use. I've been journaling for decades, for many decades in different forms. Wherever I go, I always carry my journal and I always carry a pen. And I've always said I believe in using a high quality pen, just not a plastic throwaway. I've got nothing against the plastic throwaway pens. I use them plenty of times when needed. However, I do believe if you invest in a really good pen, there's a special feel to it. It just feels right. It writes really nicely. And I've got my Diplomat, actually this one, right, my Diplomat fountain pen. I've got several pens right in front of me, but this is probably my favorite. You can see, again, if you're watching this on YouTube, it's really sleek, easy to open, easy to write with. I like using a fine point, and I like using blue. I use black in another pen as well, but it just writes really smoothly. And when you write in your journal, I'm going to show you my journal in a second. My journal is actually called, well, it's a journal. It's Paisley. If you look at it here on you again, I'll show it to you on YouTube. If you're listening to audio only, you can just imagine. It's a beautiful journal. The paper is really good quality. And when you write in conjunction with a fountain pen like this, everything just feels perfectly smooth and beautiful. Again, you can write in pencil if you want. You can write with a cheapy pen. There's nothing inherently wrong with those things. But when you combine a really high quality journal with a very nice pen, there's something special that I just can't even describe in words in this episode, but I'm going to say magic takes place. And you're going to have to trust me on this one because, again, I've been journaling for decades now, and I've kind of zeroed in on my absolute favorite pen and my favorite journal. I put all 5 of these in the show notes. Pick and choose or get all 5 and see what you think. I'd love to get your feedback and let me know what you think if you do choose to use any of these 5 products I just recommended. Now, let's get into some really good Q&A that you guys have been sending in. I really appreciate the questions. I try to answer as many as possible. Before I answer the questions, I've got these right in front of me. Share one thing. As you know, we've got this really good coaching program, one-on-one. If you are just brand new to microdosing magic mushrooms, or you want to learn how to microdose maybe something else, you can listen to all my podcast episodes and I talk about it all the time. However, if you really feel you want to be at the level where you're getting one-on-one coaching from us, I work in conjunction with my very good friend here, Dr. Denise Moret. friend and colleague. She is a doctor of psychology, and she is very, very well versed in plant medicine, very experienced in plant medicine. And we just help people one on one through their journey and help answer any questions, guide them to, and help. Our goal is to get you to be exactly, feel exactly how you want to feel and experience everything you want to feel every single day. And we've been very successful with this program. It's not medical advice. It's not mental health counseling in any way. It's a coaching program where we help you achieve the results that you want to see and feel like the real you every single day. Normally, it's $2,300 for this program, which it's an investment for sure, but it's worth so much more than that. However, during the month of July, we were fortunate enough you might remember a year or so ago, we had somebody that contributed some money to the program. He went through the program. He wanted other people to experience what he did, and he contributed some money in the way of scholarships to this program. So for the month of July, we have 5 scholarships available. They're not full scholarships, but it's enough scholarships to get $400 off on this program if you sign up and get started in the month of July. And what that means is $400 off of $2,300. It's only $1,900 to change your entire life. I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer. I know for many of you, money can be tight. I realize that, and things are tough these days. I know it. I know it. But to spend $1,900 for something that could potentially change your entire life, the direction it's going, and make you feel the way you want to feel every single day about you, about your life, about where you're going, about your goals in life. I mean, to me, that's an investment that is more than worth it. So I'll leave it out there. If you're interested in any way, you can message me or just simply go to microdoseu.com. The link is also in the show notes all the time. Microdoseu.com. It's microdose with the letter U on the end of it.com. And you can actually go and apply right there. Very, very, very easy to do, but I'm always here to answer your questions in any way that you want. But there is an intake form, a contact form there. You start that way. It's very, very easy. And again, if you sign up for it, you will get it during the month of July, and you will get $400 off. It will go from $2,300 to $1,900. Again, I think it could be one of the best investments you could ever make to change your life. Okay, now let's get into the questions I have in front of me. I got a few. We're going to try to get through all of them if we possibly can in this episode. This one's from YouTube, from Johnny Keefe 081. Johnny Keefe says, "Thank you for all the information. Very helpful. Do you believe it will help me with depression and anxiety? I suffered from a stroke when I was 37 years old. I also have had open heart surgery, so I'm pretty much stuck in the house a lot. I smoke a lot of cannabis. I have a lot of sadness in my life. I'm just wondering, do you believe that microdosing will make me feel better, or is this something I have to continuously do?" Well, Johnny, a lot of questions there. I'll try to answer as best as I possibly can. First of all, number one, I feel horrible about what you've gone through in your health. I hope you continue to get better and better through your depression, anxiety, your stroke that you had, your heart issues. You mentioned that you smoke a lot of cannabis. You didn't ask me this question in particular, but let's start with this anyway. I am not a fan of smoking, especially for the health things that you've been through, stroke and heart surgery. I don't think there's anybody out there that could confidently say to you that inhaling combustible smoke into your lungs in vape form or combustible, burning form smoking, some actual smoking. I don't think there's anybody out there that could say that is helping your health in any way. I would stop the smoking if I were you. If I were you. Now, I am a believer in cannabis, but I do it in the way of edibles. Edibles are very effective. I think edibles are better than smoking, and they're absolutely healthier because you're not damaging or destroying your lungs, and also everything's connected. So you're bringing smoke or vape into your lungs. If you don't think that's affecting your heart, your blood vessels, sets you up for a better chance of having a future stroke, then you're missing the boat because it's very, very dangerous, I think. So let's go to edibles instead of smoking, please. Do I think that microdosing magic mushrooms or microdosing some type of psychedelic, like maybe even LSD, can help you with your anxiety and depression? Well, I absolutely do believe that. That's what I've been teaching here for or helping people for over 4 years on this podcast. That's what it's about. We've got a lot of people here that used to be on antidepressants, anti-anxieties that have dropped all the pharmaceuticals or weaned off of them, I should say, and graduated or gone to microdosing psychedelics, which are safer, in my opinion, more effective. Your question is, do you have to do it for the rest of your life? Maybe, maybe you might have to get started, have it work its wonders, its miracles, and then be on maybe some type of maintenance. But everybody's different, so I can't say that for sure. I still occasionally microdose, even after having fixed me and rewired my brain for 4 years. I still occasionally do microdose because I think it's good to maintain and I do believe it works well. Johnny, I really hope this helps you. Godspeed to you. I really hope you can get healthier, both mentally and physically. Menhill187, also from YouTube. One thing I want to ask, is it addictive? And one more thing, do I have to take it lifelong for the benefit, or its benefits persist even after quitting the microdose? Well, okay, so I just answered Johnny the second part of that question. Lifelong, do you have to take it forever? I'm just not positive. I continue to microdose because it works. And if it works and it makes me feel unbelievably great every single day and completely got rid of my anxiety and depression, I am willing to keep taking some maintenance doses as needed to keep this thing going because it's just something that totally turned my life around. Is it addictive? No, it's not addictive. It's not addictive. And guess what? It's extremely safe. You cannot, especially at a microdose level, but you can't overdose. It's nothing like those hard drugs out there that people talk. And sometimes people lump these plant medicines into like hard medicine or hard drug. I shouldn't say medicine, hard drugs, such as cocaine, opioids, meth, all these things that are, in my opinion, extremely dangerous. No, psychedelics are safe. They are not addictive, and you cannot overdose. If you took too much, could you go on a really wild, crazy, maybe scary psychedelic trip? Yes, but you won't die and you won't get addicted. Those are the two bottom lines. And I would argue with anybody, any day of the week, much safer than alcohol, much safer than nicotine. The list goes on. So I hope that helps you, Menahill. The Bay Area Backyards B says, I love your videos. I'm so glad I stumbled on your channel about 6 months ago. I'm glad you found us also. I really am. I notice you're on a cross-country road trip. I've done it 3 times since 2022, had a lot of PTSD after my husband's suicide and recent empty nesting. Mushrooms have been a godsend. If you make it to Berkeley, California, I'm a 5-star Airbnb host. Stop by. The Bay Area Backyards B, I just might stop by. You never know. Thank you very much for the invitation. From Sarah M82. Hey, Dr. Dave, I've been thinking about trying microdosing for my depression, but I'm worried about mixing it with my antidepressants. Is that safe, or should I talk to my doctor first? Well, Sarah, again, I want to make it very clear this is not medical advice. I can share with you what I've done and what I've also had a lot of other people that have asked me the question. No, it's totally fine. If you're on antidepressants such as SSRIs, we recommend not stopping those, but starting to microdose and then start to see how you feel. And then ultimately, when you get to the point where you feel the microdosing is working, then you can start to wean off of your antidepressants. Again, I'm not telling you to get off antidepressants. I suggest you talk to your doctor about that. But I did it, never looked back, never took another antidepressant in my life, and I'm doing just incredibly well just through microdosing alone. So it's a very commonly asked question. I'm glad you asked that, because if you're asking it and many other people are asking, there are even more people out there that are wondering and thinking. So I'm happy to address this as often as possible, because it's, again, everybody wants to know about antidepressants and microdosing magic mushrooms, or even microdosing LSD. Okay, next question from Jake in the Mountains. Dr. Dave, I keep hearing about people microdosing for focus, but I get kind of anxious sometimes. Could microdosing actually make my anxiety worse? I'd really appreciate your take on this. Jake in the Mountains, normally no, but yes, I've run into people over the years that say it does make them anxious. And in almost every single case, here's what I found. I'm not saying every case, but almost every single case, people are taking too low of a dose, believe it or not. They're taking somewhere around 50 milligrams of ground dried magic mushrooms, 50 milligrams, which is a very, very, very low microdose. And for some reason in these people, a very low dose causes some anxiety. But as soon as I suggested that they increase the dose maybe up to about 100 milligrams or 150, guess what? The anxiety totally disappeared. So the answer to your question is, if you're experiencing anxiety, there's a very good chance you might be way too low. Just increase your dose. Keep it still in the microdose range, but increase your dose and see how that goes. Thanks, Jake. Here's a question from Healthy Chris. Hey, love your show. I'm thinking of starting microdosing, but I'm confused about what days to take it and what days to skip. Can you break down what a solid schedule looks like? Chris, too much probably to go into tremendous detail on a Q&A in this podcast episode, but I will tell you this. When I first started recommending schedules and dosages, I was very, very rigid. I said, well, you've got to do it this way. I'm making this up because I don't remember exactly, but let's say you've got to go 4 days on, then 2 days off, then 4 days on and 2 days off. And if you deviate from that, you're not doing it right. These days, I found that it's not rocket science, and it's not such a regimen that you have to be so strict. Generally, what I recommend is a few days on. A few days could be anywhere from 3, 4, 5, a few days on, and then take a day or two, or maybe even 3, but a couple days off, and then rinse and repeat. It's not strict. You don't have to do it by the calendar exactly. The most important thing is that you're microdosing on a regular basis and getting enough microdosing into your system to help your brain and help rewire the brain. But taking some time off is always good, meaning a day or 2 or maybe even 3, and then microdosing a few days, then doing it again. If you want more, again, we do offer the private one-on-one coaching to help you really get zeroed in and monitor you and see how things are doing and to see how you're feeling and tweaking and titrating and things like that. But that's general information. Everybody's different. So if you want to take it any further, one-on-one, very, very happy to help you. Just go to our website, microdoseu.com, and click on the menu item that says guidance, and it will explain everything you need to know. Thank you so much for your question there. The next question, I think this is the last one we'll do today, from ZenGen for Real. ZenGen, are you for real? Dave, I've been microdosing for a couple weeks, but I'm still drinking a lot and smoking weed. Is that messing up the process? Should I try to cut back on all that other stuff? ZenGen for Real. Well, you heard what I said. My very first question from Johnny Keefe. He talked about smoking cannabis, and I'm not a fan of smoke. But I am a fan of cannabis if used responsibly. I'm not saying get out and get stoned every night. That's not really, in my mind, that's not going to help anything. But to use it in small amounts, occasionally in the evening or whenever you want to do it, that's totally fine. But I would stop smoking this stuff. Smoking is going to damage your lungs and damage your health in so many ways. So yeah, please stop that. Alcohol, that's a whole different subject. If you've heard me for quite some time, I am not a fan of alcohol. I drink very, very little. It's always a social occasion. Typically, if I'm out or even with my wife and we're having a special dinner, I might have a drink. And I'm talking about once a month, maybe a couple times a month, maybe a little bit of sake with a Japanese dinner or something like that. Otherwise, I don't drink. I don't think alcohol is healthy. I don't think it has any medical value whatsoever at all. I don't care if people say that it's good for your heart. I think that's the old days, and I think that's not really believed anymore. It's not good for you. So my comment on drinking is do it as little as possible. Concentrate on your microdosing. Concentrate on your microdosing regimen. Concentrate on things that go along with that. Your journaling, your shadow work that goes along with the microdosing. Anything you can do, a meditation, yoga, thinking really, really deeply, things like that. But alcohol, no, I'm not a fan, and I don't think it contributes positively in any way. Again, if you want to have a little bit socially here and there, totally fine. Past that, I don't believe it helps in any way. I had a great time with you on this episode. I really appreciate you being with me. I'm here every Wednesday with a brand new episode. If you enjoy what you're hearing or seeing, like, share, and subscribe. And feel free to share this with somebody that you might know that just might need a little bit of help in their life, because I'm here to help you get through the tough times. We all look, let's face it, there's a lot going on in the world today. Times are tough all over. And if we could just make our lives a little bit better, then I think it's a win for everybody. I also do have a Patreon channel. It is a paid channel. It's very, very inexpensive, but it does help support this show. And we do live meetings every couple weeks on Patreon, and we answer the real questions down and dirty, and there's no filter, and you can ask pretty much anything you want, and we get it done there. And it's a really cool little family there. So there are a couple levels you can join at there. I'd appreciate seeing you on Patreon, as we've turned this thing into a really, really cool family. But whether you do that or not, or whether you do coaching or not, I'm really glad you're here watching or listening to me on the podcast. As I say at the end of every episode, and I mean it from my heart, I do love you. I want you to feel better. I want you to live the best life you possibly can. So until next Wednesday, I am Dr. Dave. This is Microdose U.